Welcome to Get to Dirt University. We're going to be covering Lawn Care 101, where I'm going to give you some do-it-yourself type tips for what you can do in your lawn to save you some money this year, starting with the first application of fertilizer of the season. I always like to use the Fertilome brand, and their first bag is Fertilome All Seasons. This is something that would go down at the very beginning of the season. And MJ, where are you? I thought I'm supposed to put her to work, aren't I? There you are. Here we go. We'll dump some of that puppy in. I've already preset this spreader to the right setting, so she's going to be putting it down at the right rate, aren't you, MJ?
I'm going to work now.
Get busy. Go on. Go on. Get busy. Once she's put that down, I'm going to turn the sprinklers on. We're going to water the whole thing in. After the first application of fertilizer, then you can move on to just a general purpose fertilizer for your lawn. I like either the Fertilome Classic or the Fertilome Lawn Care Plus Iron, both of them available in the garden centers all over town. Then we'll want to talk about aerating. And aerating is something that I've already done. You like to do that before you put the fertilizer down. And for small areas, you can use a tool similar to this. This is something that you would take out into the yard and step on it, and pulls out these wonderful little plugs just like this. And that makes holes in the yard for your nutrients and the water and the air to get into. And you don't have to worry about picking them up, just leave them there. If you've got a large area, you want to make sure that you get a professional in here with a machine to get in there and put a bunch of holes in the yard, and that'll do the best job for you. If you have a small yard for the fertilizer, feel free to use one of these handheld fertilizer spreaders if you just have a little area to do, and then be sure to always water it in thoroughly when you're done. Glad that's done. It's time for everybody's favorite part, the weekly maintenance of the lawn. And mowing is a big part of that. Try to mow at least every week. It's a good idea not to mow off more than 50% of your grass height at any given mowing. So if you can set your lawnmower to about 2.5 inches tall, that'll give you a nice tall grass. It'll shade the ground, keep it cool. You'll lose less water that way. And if you sharpen your blade on a regular basis, and by that I mean every 6 to 8 weeks if you could, that will prevent the blade from tearing the tops of the grass blades off, and you won't get that little brown sheen over the top of everything. A nice sharp blade is very important. Now, where's that MJ person? I'm not done working here. There you are.
Okay, I'm coming.
There you are.
Now that you're done mowing, it's time for us to go ahead and do a little bit of watering. Watering your lawn, whether you do it with dragging a hose, whether or not you have an irrigation system, you're probably going to be applying about 2 inches of water a week. You can measure that with a tuna fish can, or even just a shallow saucer put in the middle of the yard to figure out exactly how much water you're being put down. Just make sure not to do it in the heat of the day, and it shouldn't really take too long, but at least once, 2, maybe 3 times a week, depending on the heat and depending on what kind of water restrictions you have.
Excellent, excellent advice. I couldn't have done better myself. You gonna put that out in the yard so we can see it work?
If you want to back that bad boy up, I'm going to set this down. We'll get some watering started.
You got it.
The last part of taking care of a lawn is dealing with the nasty little weeds, insects, and diseases.
Exactly. And weeds are one of the biggest problems that homeowners face in their lawns, but they're an easy fix, especially the broadleaf weeds like dandelions, bindweed, thistle, and clover. Those are your broadleaf weeds, anything that's not a grass. And one of the best ways to control them is with a selective weed killer. My favorite is Fertilome Weed Out. There's also Fertilome Weed Free Zone. Both of them do an excellent job. The trick to using either one of those products is that you want to make sure the weed is big, lots of foliage, because all the weed killer goes in through the foliage. So the more foliage, the better your kill will be. And on this dandelion right here, we're just going to give it a good spritz to wet down that foliage really well. There's a thistle. We're going to get that one too. And now in about 4 or 5 days, those should turn yellow and disappear. You'll want to wait about 24 to 48 hours before you mow this area.
And before you even apply it, you want to make sure you don't recently have mowed. Got to
Well,
wait
exactly.
till they get big.
There's no point in spraying the bloody stump. It just doesn't work.
Bloody stump.
Yes.
Interesting terminology. Now, in our lawn, the other thing we've talked about is insects and diseases. The truth is, you probably need to let the experts make that call, otherwise you could be just wasting your money. Go into the yard and get a big chunk of sod, probably about the size of a dinner plate. We need to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's that transition zone on the sod that'll really tell us what the problem is. Take that into your local independent garden center and let them help you make the right decision so you don't waste any money and you make the correct decision. Now where do we get to go?
We get to go out to Ector's. I'm waiting to go shopping there. We're going to check out their tropicals for the patio, and we're going to check out some of their green initiatives for this year.
Stick with us on Get the Dirt.